Doing the installation part of the Slash 4x4. This is the brushed one in the orange color. So I need to tighten this. That's later on. Alright, the first thing you do, you take the battery out, but most of you will probably already have this out. Alright, take your battery out. Then you take the two screws off, and in my case I had one screw that's now lost. Right here. I took it out to test the system. So you put that somewhere safe, and you take the cover off. Alright, you take the cover off, then you have to take this bottom piece off. So I'm going to go ahead and take that off. Alright, once you have uninstalled both top pieces for the receiver box, we're going to disconnect channel 2, which is this one right here. So you just kind of wiggle that one out, back and forth until it's out. And you grab it here, and you pull from under, like that. Now the next step is to undo the ESC and these motor ties, or motor things to tighten. So that's two screws here. These are the same screws, so I'm going to go ahead and remove those right now. Alright, after you undo the screws, you should be able to pull these apart. It does take two hands because they are really strong connections, so go ahead and try to put this in place where you can kind of see what's going on. Kind of grab it like this, and you just pull. And you do the same with the negative terminal, like that. And then you should slide under the little thing holding it. Usually you can push it out from under because there's a pretty big gap there, but I would take the motor out. So we're gonna leave that step until you take the motor out, but we have loosened this. And take the motor out, you have to use the big motor one. So this is a long one. You go ahead and loosen that here, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that real quick. Once you've taken that screw out, you can just simply lift it out like that. You can push it in and out like that. And the motor is out, but we don't put this aside because we're gonna have to take some bits off of this to put it onto our new motor. But now here you can just slide this from under here. I usually there we go, like that. Slide them out like that, and the system is out. We're at this step now. We have a free chassis right here, rolling chassis. Now at this point we don't have to do anything else with this, so you can put this aside anywhere else, but we're going to need the motor. We're going to take some parts off of this, but we'll get to that later. We'll put that off to the side. So the first thing I'm going to put in is the ESC. So I'm going to go ahead and get my ESC. Alright, we have it here. Now I'm going to do the soldering point another time because I don't have a soldering tool right now, but you have to make sure you have the two tabs to solder them on, which you can use from your old system if you want. You can desolder. You can pull. It's pretty simple to pull down. You grab the plastic part, you grab the red wire or the black one, and you just yank them out, and then you get the two metal tabs. But you can see there, those two gold tabs there, and you can desolder them and you reuse them to solder there, or you can use new ones. I want to use new ones, but because I want to keep that system. But it depends on you. So when you get this, it comes with the mounting plates. I heard that some of them have tape that holds this on, but in my case, you get the plate and you get two screws, and you go ahead and you just screw them in. It's pretty simple. And once you do that, you go ahead and you line it up here and you screw it in. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Alright, once it's in, once it's pretty solid into the car, this you really have to tighten it a little more because it's like wire meant to fit different sizes, so if you put it too loose, it can slide it back and forth. I don't see that as an issue, but that can happen. So after you do that, you want to get this wire here. Go ahead and tuck it around here and fold it. I don't want it like pinching or anything. Kind of maneuver it down here, and you want to slide it into here. Tuck it under there. Now here it kind of gets stuck there, and there's not really room to pick it up. So I just get an Allen key here, and I kind of scoop it up. Doing this single-handedly, so it's harder, but it's possible. There we go. Got it out. And you just pull it through. You want enough to where you don't want it too tight, pinching up against there. You want it to where it's loose enough where I can wrap it here and tuck it under here. And then the rest of this, I think we can kind of squeeze a little more wire in for like better wire management. Push that around here, and this goes into channel 2. Now this doesn't have the little nub thing, so sometimes you'll put it in backwards, but you want the white part facing this way towards the sticker and stuff. So you turn it around, and you put it back into channel 2 where the old one was in. And you kind of wiggle in there until it's, you can use I always use the not the ESC, this is the ESC, the receiver, no, not the receiver, this is the receiver, servo as reference. So yeah, go ahead and just tuck this in here, and, go ahead and just put everything back in, and just put the covers back on. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. Alright, once you went ahead and you put both covers back on, this is where we get the Titan back in here. Now what we're going to need from the Titan, we're going to need to uninstall both of these screws. And you want to put it in a way where the wires are, let's say, let me put it in. I think I might need to push this back here. It's kind of, no, I don't need to do that because the wires stick out on top and not the back of the system. So you want it in a way to where I guess the wires are like downwards like this, so then you can tuck it under and through here and it's not sticking up in everywhere. So we're gonna go ahead and take these two screws off. Well, and it depends on what pinion you have. In my case, I have a big pinion on here, so I'm going to take the pinion off first and then get the plate off. Once you get your pinion off and the plate, you don't need to do anything with the Titan anymore. You can put this aside, and then you can bring in your new motor here. And you want to mount the plate first. You can clean the sand and stuff off to put it on. You want to mount this first, so I'm going to go ahead and mount this first. If you find the right screw holes, the thing around there would be nice because you can go like that. Yeah, that's a good one there. So I want to mount it like on those screws there. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. Alright, so when you're putting the pinion on, make sure you put it right in an area as flush as you can get. So where it's like 100% covered pinion and spur like I got here, which is about almost flush with the bottom, but not quite, you know, with this pinion. So I'm going to go ahead and screw that back on. Alright, so once you install the little grub screw, you want to install this, but you don't just straight away put this. You want to make sure you mesh this properly. So you just want like a little bit of play. You want to put, I usually eye it, but you can get like a piece of paper, like I'm not sure which. I think printer paper or notebook paper. You just want to look for it when it's quiet. You don't want to hear any rubbing sounds or anything. You want to hear like a little knock, like a very slight knock when you're something like this. This is too much, but you want to hear something like that when you move the spur back and forth. So, all right. So once you get that in, you can organize this how you want. I got like 2 of them there, and I have 1 of them tucked here, so it shouldn't come out and be all like monstrosity like. Got it pretty well organized. But, yeah, and you plug this in. It's pretty self-explanatory. You just match the letter with the letter on here. So like A, which is the blue one, you match it there. It's A, and then B, which is the middle one, and then C, which is the orange one here. It's pretty self-explanatory, so I don't really need to show you that. But here's this right here is the temp thing. So you can go ahead and I'll just go ahead and just tuck this under here and plug it into the back of the motor. It's a pretty simple thing to do too. Also pretty self-explanatory. If you didn't know, now you know. And I'm pretty sure that only plugged in one way, so there you go. Now we have a fully set. You know, make sure. Yeah, I just discovered. Make sure it doesn't really get stuck in there. If you don't have the plate, so just watch out for that. All right, now the last and final step is mounting the power button. So you can mount it wherever you want, but I'm gonna mount it here with the included 3M tape, or somewhere here. Go ahead and mount it there.